Excel Chapter 6, pages 344 through 348. All right, taking a look at page 344, please read Creating a Custom Workbook Template. This is something that you're going to actually do in the workplace very frequently, so make sure you read it and you understand it. And remember that anytime you're working with a template, you have to be very careful to save your file as a template, then reopen it to actually do any homework that's assigned to you in the template, and do a file save as and name it as a file, not a template, right? Two separate files, template, and then completed, filled out template that's just a regular file. All right, first of all, open the New Mexico workbook. Okay, go ahead and open that real quick. And then group the quarter 1 through quarter 4 worksheets. So we're going to go quarter 1, shift click quarter 4, let go of mouse, then let go of shift key. The worksheet group includes the 4 quarterly worksheets, but not the summary or the documentation worksheets. Okay, we're at the top of page 345. Select the range B6 to E12. This range includes the specific ticket and sales data for each theme park. You want to delete these values because we're going to create a template, right? So we need to clean this out. The template should be clean. Right-click the selected range and then click Clear Contents. Okay, remember, right-click for a menu, left-click to select Clear Contents. The data values are cleared from the selected range in each of the quarterly worksheets, but the formulas and the formatting remain intact, which is why we didn't just hit delete. The cleared cells are blank. The range B13 to E13 displays dashes representing zeros where there are formulas. Step 5. Apply an orange fill color, the third color in the standard colors section of the fill color gallery, to the selected range. Okay, so you're going to click in the Home tab. We're going to go to our fill bucket, and which third color, standard colors section? Well, that's orange, all right. Go ahead and select it. The range B6 to E12 has an orange fill to indicate where users should enter data for the number of tickets sold and the sales amount in the quarterly worksheets. Step number 6. In cell A1, enter equals summary, exclamation point, which is on top of the number 1, I said as I was looking for it, A1. Okay, stop and check that real quick. In cell A1, enter equals summary, exclamation point, A1, and there are no spaces in there. This formula inserts the contents of cell A1 in the summary worksheet into cell A1 in the quarterly worksheet. The text New Mexico is still displayed because that text is currently in cell A1 in the summary worksheet. Press your enter key, and you'll see the cell A1 displays New Mexico. Step number 7. Switch to the summary worksheet. The quarterly worksheets are ungrouped, and dashes representing zeros appears in the cells in the range B6 to E13, which contains formulas. In cell A1, enter the text, enter state name here. And by the way, you can use capitals or not, however you choose on that particular one. Press your enter key. In cell A2, type in enter fiscal year, space, dash, space, lowercase YYY. Okay? Space, dash, space, lowercase y. Enter. The text will remind users to enter the correct state name and year. Take a look at Figure 6-24 and compare your screen to the textbook and make sure they match. Step number 9. Switch to the documentation worksheet. Delete your name and the date from B3 and B4. This time you can use the delete key, it works just fine. In cell B6, type in theme park ticket sales. Click cell A1. The documentation sheet is updated to reflect the purpose of the workbook. All right, go ahead and read the bottom of page 345 and the top of page 346, and then we're going to move on to our next step, which is to save the New Mexico workbook as a template. And I see a lot of yellow to warn us about that whole saving as a template thing. All right, step number 1, we're going to do a file save as. Next, you're going to ensure that you're saving to your flash drive and not onto any other computer. The name of this is going to be travel template, but make sure you don't hit your save or enter or anything because we have to change the save as type. So, file name, travel template. Now, save as type. Find Excel template. The address bar displays the templates folder on your computer. You're going to need to change that location. Okay? As soon as we assigned it to a template, even though we had already told the computer once, hey, go to my flash drive, your computer is going to default as soon as you say template and change it to the C drive. So please make sure that you complete this next step or you will lose your template. So navigate to your flash drive and save this to your flash drive. All right, when you have correctly redirected this to be saved to your flash drive in Excel and chapter 6 or however you labeled it, and you're absolutely positive that you are not saving this to any computer but to your flash drive, you can go ahead and click on save. All right, close the travel template workbook template. Now, let's move on. Creating a new workbook from a template. Go ahead and read that real quick. All right, to create a new workbook based on the travel template file, the first thing we're going to do is file, new, and then new from existing. Okay, file, new, new from existing. The new from existing workbook dialog box opens with all Excel files displayed. Now, when this opened, if it didn't go to your flash drive, just redirect it and make it go to your flash drive right now. All right, go to the travel template. You see it has the little orange to indicate that it's a template, and then click the Create New button. A copy of the travel template workbook opens named Travel Template 1 to indicate this is the first copy of the travel template workbook created during the current Excel session. Step number 4. Click the Summary Sheet tab. Enter New Mexico in cell A1. And enter fiscal year 2014 in cell A2. And press your enter key. Check your spelling real quick. By the way, I'm always warning you about checking your spelling because Excel doesn't do that the way Word does. And when you do your ILA and you turn in your Excel work, you need to absolutely make sure the last thing you do before you turn it in is go back and check all your spelling. Step number 5. Switch to the quarter 1 worksheet. The text New Mexico appears in cell A1 and fiscal year 2014 in cell A2. Enter the following test data in the data area, that's that lovely orange area, and then review the column totals. All right, cell B6, 120, and tab, and cell C6, 150, tab, D6, 3000, tab, E6, 2850, 2850, tab. Enter the following test data in the range B7 to E7. B7 is 180, tab, C7, 200, tab, cell D7, 3500, tab, and E7, 3150. Stop real quick, make sure you didn't make any typos in that. All right, switch to the summary worksheet, and you should see that the information transferred right over there correctly. Flip to page 348. All right, we're going to do a file save as and name it New Mexico 2014. All right, so on your flash drive, New Mexico 2014, check your spelling. You'll see that it is a workbook and not a template. Go ahead and click save. And then go ahead and close this workbook. All right, to test the New Mexico 2014 workbook, let's open it right back up. Group Quarter 2, 3, and 4. Enter 120 in cell B6. In cell C6, enter 150. Switch to the summary worksheet. The total in cell B6 should be 480, and the total in C6 should be 600. The formulas in the summary worksheet correctly add values from all the quarterly worksheets. The template workbook is functioning as intended. Save and close. And that is actually the last video for this chapter. The rest of the chapter, which is working on SkyDrive, which requires you to obtain a Windows Live ID, will not be required. However, you are required to read the bottom of page 348 all the way through 352. And you're certainly welcome to do this if you want to and create your Windows Live ID and do all this. It's really a great idea to do this and test it out and see if it works for you, as more and more businesses will be using cloud computing. So go ahead and read it, give it a whirl and give it a try if you want. And that's the last video for this chapter.